So they put the title on Triple H, both the title as champion and as COO of the company. Everybody was irritated by that, and it brought me back to the early thousands when Triple H was a 10 through 13-time champion, winning the title about 12, 13 times in his career, and everybody was so tired of having seen that and became quickly irritated about it, wanting people like John Cena and Batista and Randy Orton to be on top, and it was years before they did get that chance. They were kind of just standing beside Triple H, letting Triple H take all the glory and the spotlight from them, and now finally Triple H returning the favor to people like Roman Reigns and AJ Styles. In the fall of this year's WrestleMania, AJ Styles and Reigns had a phenomenal program over the championship. Just as a quick note here, really proud of how AJ Styles now is finally being pushed by WWE in a more creative direction than he was in the fallout of WrestleMania 32. Just to keep up to speed here, AJ Styles has been offered now 2 opportunities, including this opportunity he will receive against Dean Ambrose at Backlash. He's been offered 2 opportunities at the championship. He hasn't cashed in previously and is looking to cash in, but I'm really proud of how AJ Styles is finally receiving a push by WWE. It's almost like they woke up one day and realized the popularity of AJ Styles and how much he's actually over. Maybe not in the way of a Daniel Bryan, but at least promising things are expected to be seen in the future of AJ Styles because of how he's been pushed by WWE. Really proud about that. I can't write enough about that seemingly for my column in this corner with Jonathan Clarke after having been a fan of AJ Styles for years. And I proudly have pontificated myself of being an AJ Styles fan because I believe this is something that should have happened for Styles at least 10 years ago, as it should have for Samoa Joe. So at least promising things are happening for AJ Styles. You may be tired and very irritated of having seen him on television saying the things he has directed towards John Cena in promos, wanting John Cena to admit that AJ Styles is the best. We still have to hear that from John Cena. That does not mean that we won't hear it because we haven't heard it already, because I think they're hyping that up for John Cena to come out and give AJ Styles credit. We're either going to see him put over AJ Styles by himself, or they're going to do it by having John Cena and AJ Styles team up, probably putting a creative tag team name on them to change the complexity of the new SmackDown Tag Team division, which will include the likes of American Alpha and Breeze Ango, which I'm really looking forward to seeing what that will do for that division, a division that you compare to about 10 years ago, having teams like Eminem, Eddie Guerrero, and Rey Mysterio, Batista and Rey Mysterio. They had so many great teams back then. Will they have as many great teams in 2016, a difference of 10 or 11 years? They probably will, because the talent seems to be there, and with that talent comes a lot of promise, especially in the SmackDown Women's division. I have never been more proud to give spotlight and recognition to the SmackDown Women's division, because years ago you had Tori Wilson, Dawn Marie, and Sable in about 3-way programs all the time, tearing it up in bikini contests, one-on-one contests, mud matches, lingerie pillow fights. Fans got very quickly tired of that, so at least now we have a SmackDown Women's division where the competition seems to be there at an all-time high. And off that competition, a lot of unpredictable things can happen, and a lot of creativity can be happening in the way of storylines that we haven't seen before, because usually what we see for SmackDown Women are the chance to be valets to people like Tajiri and Rhino. I mean, I was really tired of seeing that. Eminem, Melina being the valet of them / manager, so at least now the competition is at an all-time high, higher than it's ever been for SmackDown, and with the crowning the first ever SmackDown Live champion on the blue side of things, they will be able to compete directly with the red side, with people like Charlotte and Sasha Banks tearing it up. I can't say that I was really proud of them taking the title off of wrestlers as soon as what they did. Of course, taking the title off Sasha Banks, I was really hoping that we were going to see the new era for women's wrestling taking a direction because of what Sasha Banks would have done for it as champion. A mere 3-week reign as champion for Sasha Banks. Not so many people happy about that. I'm not the only one, but I guess that was a way of us being pissed off from the fall of SummerSlam, just as seeing Brock Lesnar defeat Randy Orton the way that he did by busting him open with shots to the head after taking off the gloves with his bare hands. There's a feud between Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar expected to happen from that. Really excited about that, because this will be the first time ever in history. It's never happened before. Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar will go one-on-one, if not at Backlash, at a pay-per-view down the road, probably as early as Survivor Series this coming November in Toronto. What a way to have Survivor Series return to Canada, with Brock Lesnar versus Shane McMahon, or at WrestleMania 33 would be the next time we probably would have a chance of seeing that. I see this feud being very unpredictable and very creative in the way of promos and excitement, and we need to get physical between Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar, because every time Shane gets physical, it's very unpredictable. Nobody knows what he's going to do from one minute to the next, and I think him getting physical with Brock Lesnar is just what the doctor of professional wrestling has ordered for fans. I want to see this. A lot of wrestling fans are kind of against this, but I want to see it because it's never happened before, and this will be the first time Shane's been in action since his return, the last time being against The Undertaker at WrestleMania 32 in a loss for Shane McMahon, with The Undertaker coming out on top, securing his place next year at WrestleMania 33 for 2017. So let's get going with something creative for Shane McMahon and Brock Lesnar and get the conversation at an all-time high for that. There's a lot of unpredictable things happening in WWE, so why not be happy with the current state of the company? A couple of months ago, I wouldn't be saying as many promising things about the state of the company because I was very displeased and very upset as a wrestling fan of the state of WWE, but not so much now, because so much promise in the crowning of future champions, creative storylines we have never seen before, the debuts of up-and-coming names like Alexa Bliss, really excited about that. Carmella is another one. Naomi with her new outlook on life. Emma's creative direction. There's so much that can happen for both the Raw and SmackDown women's divisions and the tag team division on Monday Night Raw. Taking a look at that, we have the New Day in a feud with Anderson and Gallows, the Club, and an upcoming feud between teams in the SmackDown Tag Team Championship Tournament, which will obviously have something in the fallout happen from that, and the crowning of new champions. That has yet to be determined, but the tag team divisions have never looked more hotter than what they do now, especially on SmackDown. SmackDown may be 2 hours to Raw is 3, but SmackDown is really taking it to Raw for the first time, providing them with competition which Raw has been looking for and asking for a while, and they're finally getting it. I wonder how they feel about that from Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan. How are Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley going to counteract that, and how long will Mick Foley remain loyal to Raw if a better offer is not offered to him by Shane and Daniel on SmackDown? Also really appreciate the efforts of Mick Foley and Daniel Bryan as the GMs of the shows Raw and SmackDown, and what the future could have in store because of the job they've been doing so far early in the draft. It's only early, and the complexity of it can drastically change with how Brock Lesnar's actions will have repercussions for how he treated people like Shane and Randy Orton in the fallout of SummerSlam. Can't believe we waited 4 hours to see Shane McMahon suffer the F5. But hopefully something promising will happen from it, and happen from it all in the fallout of everything, the 2016 brand extension and all the tours that are going to be happening, the split branded pay-per-views. Can't say I'm a real big fan of that. Not so many fans, not so much a fan of it as what I am, but I'm not really a fan of these split branded pay-per-views. Was kind of hoping they were going to keep the brands together for the pay-per-views every month for every pay-per-view. Now we're up to 2 pay-per-views as opposed to 1 split branded pay-per-view, with 1 simulcast, if you would, of Raw, SmackDown, also throwing in NXT Superstars, and those events will be Royal Rumbles, WrestleMania, SummerSlams, and Survivor Series. Not really a big fan of the 2 pay-per-views a month and the return of concepts like Clash of Champions. How do you feel about that? There's so much happening in the way of promise, but there's so much stuff that you're kind of half and half on, you're kind of iffy about, you're kind of really skeptical on. But we'll have to wait and see where we go from here and how it all plays out. There is so much in the way of predictions being made also too, predictions of Goldberg returning, Kurt Angle returning. How about Brock Lesnar versus Goldberg 2 for WrestleMania 33? The return of Batista's up in the air, Kurt Angle, CM Punk. So much in the way of predictions of returns and debuts we could be seeing. The debut of this Chinese star happening on September 10th through 11th. Really excited about that. He's going to be making his debut in his home country. Finn Wong, really excited about that. So, how can you not be happy and pleased with the direction and the state of WWE? Get in on the conversation. Let me know what you think in the comments of this video blog. There it is for you at Jonathan Clarke 22. Give me a tweet at Jonathan Clarke 1. You can send it my way on Facebook at HEW Entertainment by getting in on the conversation, and on Google Plus as well at HEW Entertainment. Let me know what your thoughts are on the state of WWE. It's very much appreciated. On that note, I'm your host, Jonathan Clarke, and I will leave it at that. I will talk to you again next week. Like what you hear? Tell us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. Call me baby if you need a friend. I just wanna give you love. Come on, come on, come on. Reaching out to you, so take a chance. No matter where you go, no, you're not alone. I'm only one call away. for now, we can stay here for a while. 'Cause you know, I just wanna see you smile. No matter where you go, you know you're not alone. I'm only one call away. I'll be there to save the day. Superman got nothing on me. I'm only one call away. And when you're weak, I'll be strong. I'm gonna keep holding on. Now don't you worry, it won't be long, darling. When you feel like hope is gone, just run into my